fettuccine. There you go.
Okay. You're running a roomy.
I don't need all these. Probably one. That big bastard there should be fine.
Yeah.
Alright, we good?
Try it.
Alright. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Wall's Campfire Cooking. We're back at camp here finally after a day out on the track.
Yep, go.
The sun's setting.
Go, go.
Hi guys, welcome back to Wall's Campfire Cooking. We're back at camp now after a day out on the tracks, and I got something pretty good to whip up for dinner tonight. I got a bit of parmesan and some bacon, some chicken thighs here, and I got myself some fettuccine, some onion, and a bit of cream. So tonight we're going to be having fettuccine carbonara with a bit of chicken. So chicken fettuccine carbonara. So grab yourself a beer and sit down and relax, and we'll get into cooking. That's not a bad beer, that. All right, so to start off with, just going to quickly dice up the onion and try and not knock everything off the table. I think I need a sharper knife here.
We knew we needed to sharpen up. Why do we? Dude, this is just looking so badly. Dangerous.
This is looking sketchy as. Alright. Gonna quickly peel up our onions. Same with the other half. I've only got the one big onion. If you got small onions, probably chuck a couple in there, but it all depends on how big the onions are. These are quite good sized chunky onions. So give this one more cut there. They're laughing. Oh, apparently we've been gifted a new knife. Nice, clean. Alright, our onions are all diced up. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to get me a little cooker. Actually, I'm probably getting that going a little bit prematurely. That'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, it won't be. I need...
What do you need?
A bowl, just to store this in for a second. So it'll be a pain. And while you get a bowl, I'm just going to grab two things out of here.
A bowl?
Yep.
Bowl, there you go.
Thank you. Alright. So the onions are all cut up. And as I want to put it all together kind of in one go, I'm just going to put this into a bowl for now. I'm just going to push that aside. So we'll sit him over to the side there, out of the way. We'll put him all into the cooker in a minute. Now the next thing we're going to quickly cut up is our bacon. A nice big chunk of bacon there. Fine. So same kind of thing with our bacon, same as it was with our onion. We want to cut into some half decent big chunks. So nice good chunks of bacon there. Now, same thing as the onion. I'm just going to turf that into a bowl for now, because I've got to cut up all my chicken next. We all want it to kind of go in at the same kind of time. bits here. All right, bacon's cut, onions cut, we'll get that to the side. That's over there out of the way. All right. Now, like you last, we're gonna come behind that with our chicken thigh here. Now, for the chicken, it's pretty straightforward. Cut it nice and thin like that. So probably get about 4 pieces, and then we just want to dice these to about that size. So with that, probably cut them in half. And the end pieces, because they're a little bit thicker, we get 3 to 4 out of those. And I'm just going to put that into there for the time being. You can grab me some of those baby wipes for a sec. Sorry to be a pain.
That's right. Do you need me to wash something?
Oh, I should wipe my hands. And disappear that chopping board, I suppose. I don't really need that now.
Do you want to hand it to me actually?
Yeah, it's probably easier if I do that. That's all chicken covered, so. Alright, our chicken's been cut up there. We've got a nice little bowl of chicken going on. Now, before we go too far into getting that all going, first things first, now that I finish wiping down my hands so that that's chicken covered, I got this bad boy. So, my plan here is to alfoil this sucker and get him over on the campfire while we're cooking all the other bits and pieces up. Ideally, it would be great if this thing had alfoil in it already, but I don't think this is one of the ones that comes with alfoil already. You know, I wouldn't be that lucky. Like I said, not that lucky. So, that's not enough. Here's some alfoil I prepared earlier, which I am really hoping I have enough of, and that this thing's not so dead. Alright, so folds in 2 halves. So much garlic. Okay. Now, we're just going to alfoil this up. Now, what I'm going to do here, cover it up like that first, and then I'm going to simply fold this piece up and over the top. And wrap that up like so. Needs to be pretty well secured for the most part. Just a bit of an opening here. That's alright, that's nothing a bit more alfoil can't fix. I said I'd be really happy if this alfoil wasn't all busted. I think it's time to invest in some new alfoil. Alright, so one more bit to wrap around there. Just to get that going. Alright, our garlic bread's all wrapped up. I'm going to get him over there on the campfire to get him cooking, and then we're going to get this fettuccine carbonara going. Alright, so I got my pan, oh, that's really hot. Got very hot very fast. Okay, this pan's all cooking, it's all oiled up. In goes our chicken. And our chicken in there. And we just kind of want to brown this off before we go too much further. Yeah. So we've got our chicken searing off in the pot there. Just want to constantly stir it because you don't want it to stick to the bottom. That's no fun. And once we start getting once we get a bit of colour in that chicken, just on a few of its different sides, in goes the onion, in goes our bacon, and we can drop our thickened cream in there as well. And 1 egg, which will help thicken it up heaps. You gotta drop your egg in. Then, that 1 egg. Now, when you put the egg in, you want to get that in at the same time as the cream goes in. You don't want to leave it go, because otherwise, it starts to get too hot. Your egg will basically kind of boil when it hits, and you end up with chunky bits of egg in your carbonara and not a nice thickened up carbonara. Now the other thing too, because we're doing this as a one pot wonder and not separating the pots, the other thing I'm going to do, as soon as that cream goes in as well, I'm going to put the actual pasta in there as well, so that it'll soften up as everything starts to boil. So chicken's starting to sear off there, starting to get a bit of colour in our chicken now. So it's probably not a bad idea to get that onion in there. And our bacon as well. So in goes our onion and in goes our bacon. Give that a good bit of a stir. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, we just need to let that sear off a little bit. So we want to get some nice colour, and we want all the flavour to kind of infuse together there as well. And then we'll get our cream and we'll get our carbonara in there as well, and it will mix around and should be good. We've also got garlic granules, salt and pepper as well. Now, the other thing you can add to this too, which I didn't think to grab while we were at shops today, bit of fresh parsley. Go really nicely in there as well. Or dried if you can't be bothered getting fresh and cutting it up yourself.
There you go, boys.
Okay, so I'm going to give this one more quick stir, make sure it's not stuck to the bottom. And then what I'm going to do now, the cream's going to go in there in a minute, it's going to start to bubble and boil and do what cream does. So I'm actually going to put the fettuccine in there now, to be honest. I might just break it in half. Gonna get the fettuccine in on top, so the juices from that chicken will start to soften it up for the cream, because we're not boiling it in water. So anything we can do to kind of help soften it up. Gonna get our garlic granules in on top. So have you seen the pinch of salt? Pinch of salt and a pinch of pepper. Salt, pepper. Yeah. Depends on how big your pinch is. Alright, Got our salt, pepper, and our garlic's in there now. We've got our bits and pieces going. I'm just trying to push underneath here just to ensure that it doesn't get all stuck to the bottom. That's kind of the last thing we want. Like I said, carbonara, the fettuccine there starting to get a bit soggy, which is what I wanted, which is why I wanted to put it on top of this. And now I'm going to add our cream, which I hope I got enough. So I got 2 bottles of thickened cream here. So give this a quick little bit of a stir, just so the bottom's not completely boiling. Got bits of fettuccine flying out everywhere. When I tip in the cream. Alright, cream's in. The other thing I'm going to quickly do before I start mixing that through wet, egg on top. So mix that through, and then we're just going to mix the whole lot through. Trying to make sure the pasta gets us close down to the bottom as we can get it. Now that's, I have cream everywhere. It's great. And just before we get around to serving it, we got some parmesan here, which goes on top, which will melt through and give it a nice flavour. We're professionals, we promise. We've done this before. Okay, I was trying to keep the fettuccine in good bits, but I think if I just break it down into smaller pieces, that'll work a lot better.
No. Interesting.
What?
That's like short circuits everything. Let's not use that one.
That probably needs about 10 minutes.
Almost stay there.
Turn that garlic bread around?
It needs to be turned around now. It will need to be turned around. I tried to level out the heat, but this fire's got so many issues. It's got so many issues. I don't know what's wrong with it. Is it the wood that's bad? Huh? How much longer you got?
Just as long as that takes to boil.
Okay,
Pasta.
Come back to...
We can come back at the end. We can cut it back at the end. That's fine. To the serve. So guys, we're just waiting for the last little bit of the pasta to soften up just a little bit more. It's almost there, just not quite. So it just needs a little bit more. Now the thing is, I use 2 bottles of cream in this recipe, but when I put it down below, I'm going to put in 3 bottles of cream for the 1 kilo packet of chicken that you're going to use. Now the reason for that is you want a little bit more cream, especially if you're doing it like me, in a singular pot. you want a little bit more cream so it covers the pasta, so the pasta will soften up quicker. Okay, that's what we need to do. Now, in this case, it's taking a little bit longer, and my final product will be the pasta. Will probably just be a little bit, not perfectly soft, but it'll still be good. But I would definitely recommend getting 3 bottles of cream for the amount of volume that we have here. Alrighty, guys. Voila. Oh, all the water coming out, condensation. Now, one more quick stir. Actually, I think it's pretty close to perfect, actually. Woo! We can cut that out, right? Alright. Alright, the dinner is made, guys. Fortunately, my best efforts, we did bake a little bit to the bottom, unfortunately. But it looks like that pasta, though, has gone pretty good. So, get my trusty tongs. Got some bowls here. You'll have to grab out some forks over there, mate. And we'll serve up our garlic bread with it. Alright, so
what do we got to test? Smells good.
Smells
That's
really
funny.
good.
Hang on, whoa.
Alright, chicken carbonara.
Have a look here.
There's our chicken fettuccine. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Can't eat. Yeah, whoa, hang on.
Oh, hang on, okay.
Oh, mate, you almost forgot your
It's
pump it on top.
oh, I tipped almost the whole packet in there, don't worry.
How's that going?
This is actually really good.
Alright, that's it, guys. That is my fettuccine chicken carbonara. Now remember, if you like what you see here, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the little bell so you get notified whenever we post these videos and they go live. Anyway, guys, I'm Walter. This was All Terrain Action. Thanks very much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.